Good morning, sir.
So this is what we did last time.
Yeah.
So any questions on that? This is the first lecture.
Yeah.
Right. So modulus conjugate, it's clear, no? Modulus of a
Yeah.
complex number conjugate. Okay, we'll move on to today's class. Okay. So a complex number in generalist will have a real part and imaginary part, right?
Yeah.
So suppose if I take a complex number and represent as x plus iy, okay, and if I draw a plane, xy plane, any point in the plane will have coordinates x comma y. Okay, and a given complex number will have unique x comma y. So we can represent a complex number by a point in the xy plane.
Okay.
That's here. Such a plane in which a point is represented by a complex number is called Argand plane. Okay, it was first given by a person called Argand. Okay, that's why it's named after him. So this is the point x comma y. So what is the complex number it represents?
X plus iy.
Yeah, right. And what is this distance OP?
Root x square plus y square.
How do you get that?
It's a distance formula.
Distance formula, that's basically Pythagoras theorem.
Yeah.
This distance is x, this is y, and this is 90 degrees. So by Pythagoras theorem, this distance is x square plus y square. And we have defined another quantity called modulus of the complex number. That is equal to square root of x square plus y square. So the modulus of the complex number z is the distance of the complex number from the origin. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing we saw is the conjugate of a complex number, which is represented by z bar. Okay, which is you have to invert the sign of the imaginary part. So if z is x plus iy, z bar is x minus iy. Okay, and suppose x is in first quadrant, then x minus y will be in the fourth quadrant. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if p is the complex number, then q is the complex conjugate. So this will be z bar, point q. Point p is z, and this is q is z bar. Okay, suppose if this angle is theta, what is this angle? Suppose this angle is theta, what is the other angle?
Theta.
If you give the direction, it will be minus theta.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's in clockwise direction. Okay. Right. So in a given xy plane, any point can be specified by two coordinates, right? X comma y. And I can also represent by another way. I can see the point is at a distance r from the origin. Okay, and the distance is making an angle theta with the x-axis, positive x-axis. So the point can also be represented by r comma theta. Right? A point can be represented by x and y coordinates. I can also specify the point uniquely as saying it is the distance r from the origin and it makes an angle theta with the positive x-axis.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so with this two information also, I can fix the point uniquely. Okay, so basically there are two quantities which will fix the point, either x comma y or r comma theta. Okay, and you can relate x comma y to r comma theta. So what is the relation between Suppose I want to represent x in terms of r and theta. So what is x equal to and what is y equal to? Suppose I want to relate x and y. Suppose I want to give x and y in terms of r and
Sin
theta.
theta and r cos theta.
Yeah, x will be r cos theta and y is r sin theta. Okay. And similarly, if I want to express r in terms of x as a function of x and y, so what will be that function? I have related x and y in terms of r and theta. Similarly, I want to give r in terms of x and y, and also theta in terms of x and y.
Sir, r cos theta comma r sin theta.
No, that is x in terms of r and theta. This is square root of x square plus y square. The right hand side should be fully in terms of x and y, r equal to something.
Okay, okay, okay.
Similarly, theta is what? In terms of x and y. The right hand should be fully x in terms of x and y. Tan theta is y by, what is tan theta?
Sir, hello.
Tan theta is y by,
Yeah. Hello.
yeah, tan theta is y by x.
Hello, hello.
I can hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So tan theta is y by x. So from that, what can you say about theta? Theta you will represent as a function of x and y.
Yeah. It has a function. Okay.
No. What do you write here? Theta equal to?
Tan inverse y by x.
Yeah. Okay. When I'm saying r is a function of x and y, then right hand should be fully function of x and y. Left hand should be only one variable r. This left hand side should have only one theta, and right hand side will be a combination of x and y. Okay. So these two are representing x and y in terms of r and theta. And this is the other way around.
Okay.
R in terms of x and y, and theta in terms of x and y. Okay. So this representation in terms of r and theta is called polar representation. Okay. So the same thing. So the complex number z is expressed I by. So that is same as r cos theta plus I sin theta, as you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And modulus of z is square root of x square plus y square, which is equal to r.
Okay.
Okay. And argument of z is theta, where theta is this angle, which he has represented in terms of where x is r cos theta and y is r sin theta. Okay. And z conjugate will become x minus iy, right? So that will become r into cos theta minus I sin theta.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now we introduce a new formula called Euler's formula, where you write cos plus I sin x in a short notation as e raised to the power ix.
Okay.
E raised to the power real number you know already.
Yeah. 2.7.
No, e as a value you know. E is something.
Yeah.
But
E is 2.7, right? 2.7 something.
Okay. But other than that, you know what is e square, what is e cube, what is e raised to the power 1.278, like that, right? But here e raised to the power imaginary number.
Okay.
So similarly, this is the first time you're right. It's raising the exponent to a imaginary number. So e raised to power ix is defined like this: cos x plus I sin x, and this is called Euler's formula. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So from this you get cos x as this one. Okay, and sin x as this one. Okay, if e raised to the power ix is cos x plus I sin x, what is e raised to the power minus ix?
E raised to power minus ix is equal to 1 upon cos x plus 1 upon cos x plus I sin x.
Okay, another way to look at it is you just put x equal to minus x in the previous one. Put x equal to minus x. Okay, so it will become minus cos x, cos minus x plus I sin minus x. Right? What is cos minus x?
So I don't know cos minus x.
Is cos x.
Oh, cos x. Yeah.
And I sin minus x is what?
Minus I sin x.
Okay, so if we add these two, so that will give me cos x as this one. Cos x as e raised to the power ix plus e raised to the power minus ix divided by 2. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, you get sin x as e raised to the power ix minus e raised to the power minus ix divided by 2i. So these two relations you will get.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so complex number you can represent as x plus iy. And you can also represent as r into cos theta plus I sin theta.
Sin.
And you can also represent as r into e raised to the power I theta. Okay.
Okay.
This is the first basic thing, Cartesian form. This r cos theta plus I sin theta is polar form, and this is the Euler form, the last one. Okay, e raised to I theta is cos theta plus I sin theta. That's called Euler formula. Okay. All right. Okay. So quadratic equation. Have you studied quadratic equation?
Yes, sir. I know quadratic.
Okay, you know a little bit. So this is the form ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. The roots are square root of b square minus 4ac, right? That is the discriminant.
Yeah.
In the situation when b square minus a square is less than 0, okay?
Yeah.
So 4ac minus b square will be positive. Okay?
Yeah.
So into minus 1. Square root of minus 1 is I. So we take it out. So this will be a real number.
Okay. Yeah, because okay.
Okay. So the roots of this equation will be complex because I is there.
Okay.
Okay. Z is a complex number. Show that z square is same as z conjugate square. Let's try this one. Your pen and paper, no? Take z as x plus I bar. Z is x plus I bar.
Yeah.
So then what is z bar?
Z bar is Z conjugate, right?
Yeah. So it is x and what is z bar?
Sir, I forgot.
X minus Iy. The imaginary part, the sign has to be reversed. That is the definition of conjugate, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Conjugate of a complex number is you just have to change the sign of the imaginary part. Okay.
Imaginary part. Okay, sir.
So z square is this whole thing square
x square plus y square
No,
plus 2x.
yeah, a plus b whole square. X square minus y
Yeah.
square plus I 2xy. It's iy square. I square is minus 1. Got it?
Okay, sir. Yeah.
And what is z bar square?
X square plus y square plus 2xy.
No, why are you making mistakes? X square minus y square, no. Same a square plus b square.
Okay. Okay.
And then minus 2 minus 2ab, no? Let me write it fully. It's a minus b whole square. So it's minus 2, a is x, and b is minus iy. Okay, so this is equal to plus 2 I xy. So this is same as this one. That is why z square is same as. Hold on. I didn't make a mistake. Another way to check it is in this Euler form. So in that case, if we take z as r into e raised to the power I theta, what is z bar? R into e raised to the power minus I theta. Okay, so z square will be r square into e raised to the power 2 I theta, and z bar square will be r square into e raised to the power minus 2I theta. Here it is coming different, so we're making some mistake here. Left hand side you have plus 2xy, and right hand side minus 2xy plus 2ab. Oh, sorry, it's a mistake. No, it's b is just iy. It's not minus iy. Already take. Got it? No.
Yeah.
Silly mistake. Okay, so the real parts are matching. So the imaginary part should match. 4 times xy should be equal to 0, which implies x equal to 0 or y equal to 0. So x equal to 0 means it's purely imaginary number, and y equal to 0 means purely real number. Okay, this is the OR condition, so that's why this OR should be satisfied. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. In this Euler form, it turns out that 2 theta should be equal to minus 2 theta. So which implies theta equal to 2 theta equal to 0 degrees or
180 90.
0 or 2 pi, right? This should be 4 theta. Four theta is 0 or 2 pi, so theta is 0 or pi by 2. Okay, pi by 2 is in the y-axis. That's it's a purely imaginary number. 0 is in the x-axis, so it's a purely real number. Okay, is that clear? From this, I'm getting 2 theta should be as minus 2 theta. That means that 4 theta is 0 or 2 pi. Okay, so from that I'm getting theta as 2 pi by 4, that is pi by 2.
Okay.
Okay, this one. This is very basic. Polar form is R cos theta plus I sin theta. Exponential form is R into e raised to the power I theta. Okay. How will you solve?
So we'll find Z.
This whole thing you can reduce as one complex number, right? This whole thing I can represent as single complex number a plus ib.
Yeah, rationalize it. You can rationalize it.
Yeah, and then you can convert it into polar form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, Z is coming out to be √2.
Root to what? Real part, imaginary part.
Real part.
Okay. And then imaginary part.
So tan alpha will be equal to 1.
No. Okay. This you are saying R, is it?
Yeah, R.
Okay. Alpha is tan inverse.
Tan inverse 1. So it will be 45 degrees. So pi by 4.
Okay. What was the second one?
Yeah, second one. I'm rationalizing this. So Z is equal to √2 in second case also.
Say R equal to root 2.
Okay, R equal to √2.
And angle, say beta.
Tan inverse √3 plus 1 by √3 minus 1.
Okay. In this first one, is this plus 1 or minus 1? Tan inverse.
Sir, plus 1.
There's
No,
a
sorry,
mistake.
minus 1.
So tan inverse minus 1. So what is the angle then?
Sir, pi by 4 only.
No. Pi by 4, tan pi by 4 is plus 1, no? You have to get minus 1.
Yeah, sorry. Tan inverse minus 1.
You have to draw the figure. This minus 1 will be here.
Yeah.
Or it can be here. Okay, so it is 3 pi by 4 or minus pi by 4.
Okay.
Two values.
Okay.
First one, this is how this is what you have done, right? Multiply by conjugate. So minus 1
Yeah.
plus 1. So R is √2 and alpha is okay. And then you have to find the quadrant. And then he's okay, just not tan inverse y by x. Other than that, there is one more information. No, real part is less than 0. Okay, and imaginary part is positive. So it's in the second quadrant. It cannot be the fourth quadrant. Okay.
Okay.
So the answer is √2 cos pi by 4. So you have to write in this form. And in the exponential form, it's √2 into e raised to the power. I is missing. I 3 pi by 4. Okay.
Okay.
The second one you said, yeah, tan inverse this one, √3 plus 1 by √3 minus 1, right? That's what you said?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, so that's correct. So, 5 pi by 12. 5 pi by 12 is how much? So 5 by 6 is 30 degrees, no? So 15 degrees. So 75 degrees, this one. Know that it is fine. Anyway, it's okay. You don't know that. So it's 75 degrees. So it's okay, fine. Again, you have to decide the quadrant by looking at the sign of this one. Both are positive, so it's in the first quadrant.
Okay. Third quadrant also possible.
No. Third quadrant both will be negative.
Yeah.
Both real and imaginary positive, no? That's why it's in the first quadrant. That's what you have to decide the quadrant by looking at the complex number in that A plus IB form. From that it will be clear. Okay, if you just look at tan inverse y by x, then it will not be, there will be two solutions. Okay, but if you look at this z, it will be only one quadrant. Okay, another way of doing it is, okay, the first numerator is square root of 10, right? 1 plus 3i is the value of r is square root of 10, and angle is tan inverse 3. This is the numerator complex number. The denominator will be square root of 5, and then angle will be tan inverse minus 2. Is that correct?
Yeah.
This is root 2, and then tan inverse this by this. So, right. Okay. So this second write as e raised to the power I3 divided by e raised to the power minus I. Angle I have to find out. Okay. Tan inverse I alpha and I beta. Yes, only. But tan alpha is 3 and tan beta is minus 2. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is equal to root 2 to e raised to the power I alpha minus beta. Okay. So alpha and beta are to find out by tan inverse 3 and tan inverse minus 2. Okay. Similarly here in this second case, the numerator is root 2, and then angle is minus 5 by 4. This complex number is the fourth quadrant, right? X is positive, y is negative, and the angle is 45 degrees. It's in the fourth quadrant, the angle is minus 5 by 4. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And the second one, the thing is 1, and angle is, he has given us pi by 3. Right? It's in that form only, angle form. So angle is pi by 3. So this is root 2 into angle pi by 4 minus pi by 3. You know the why the angle is getting subtracted, because it's e raised to the power minus I pi by 4, and denominator is e raised to the power I pi by 3. So the exponential will get subtracted, no? So this angle is how much? 12. So 3 plus 4 is 7. Minus 7 pi by 12. And this angle is plus pi by 12, is it? And he's getting in first quadrant. Okay, what about this one? Xn is this one. From that I have to write x1, x2, x3 so on to infinity. Equal to what? How will you do this one?
So no idea.
In Cartesian form, it will be difficult. Okay, so write xn in terms of exponential form.
Okay.
Then it will be trivial. You can general xn as also in e raised to the power I exponential form. After that, you know what is x1, x2, x3. So, what is xn?
Cos.
No, r into e raised to the power r into e raised to the power I theta, right? So, what is r here?
R cos pi by 2n plus I sin by pi by 2n. So,
No.
so 1, right?
Square root of x square plus y square. That is 1. And e raised to the power, how much is theta?
Theta by 2n, I theta by 2n.
2 raised to the power n.
Yeah, 2 raised to power n.
So now you know what is x1, right?
Yeah.
E raised to
So,
the power I pi by 2. And x2 is e raised to the power I pi
2
by
to the power 2.
2 square. So you just have to multiply. So what will happen now? x1, x2, so on up to infinity. Will become e raised to the power I pi by 2 plus pi by 2 square, so on up to infinity. Right? Is it clear? The exponents will get added up. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now we just have to sum this thing up. This is sum of a GP. This I
Sir,
can
I
write.
don't know.
Yeah. I just tell the formula. We can use. You can just use the formula and understand it later. So it will be e raised to the power I. Pi can take commonly outside. So it will be pi by 2 I can take it outside. So it will be 1 plus half plus so on. So the sum of this GP is first term divided by 1 minus r. The first term is 1. R is a common ratio. That is half. So this is 2. So this thing will become e raised to the power I pi. Pi is this point. Okay. So in terms of complex number, there will be minus 1.
Okay.
Answer is A. Right. So yes, if the complex number is always from R into cos theta plus I sin theta, then it means that the angle is theta. So here the angle is pi by 2 raised to the power n. Right. So it's clear, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So modulus of a complex number x plus I y is square root of x square plus y square. So if you have two complex numbers z1 and z2, okay. So what is z1 plus z2 and what is z1 minus z2? This you have to understand. Please, suppose z1 is x1 comma if we take z1 as x1 plus I by 1, then what will be z2? x2 plus I by 2. Okay. So in the plane, Argand plane. Okay. So this will be like say x1 y1 is here and x2 y2 is here. Okay. And this is x2 y2. So where will be z1 plus z2? This is z1. This is z2. So what I can do is this
That,
thing.
uh,
Where will be z1 plus z2? This is z2. I'll draw a parallel line here. Okay, parallel to z2. So if I join this thing,
sir, these are like vectors.
the voice is not clear. Don't scribble. Don't scribble. So
Sir, these
this
are like vectors.
Yeah, it will be like vectors, but you have to justify.
Okay.
We just have to justify that the coordinates of this point is x1 plus x2, comma y1 plus y2. That's the meaning of z1 plus z2, right?
Yeah.
Z1 plus z2 is x1 plus x2. Don't scribble. Plus I times y1 plus y2. Okay, so coordinates of this point should be x1 plus x2, comma y1 plus y2. So this length is root of x2 square plus y2 square. So the projection of that thing, so this length will be x2. Is that clear? This length is root of r2. Okay, r2 is square root of x2 plus x2 square plus y2 square. Okay, and this angle is same as this angle with the horizontal, right? So the component of r2 along the horizontal direction will be x2. Is that clear?
Yeah.
The length, this length is r2. I'm just transporting the length parallelly. The projection of this length along the horizontal direction will be r2 cos whatever the angle is. That will be x2. So this length is x1, and this length is x2. So this total length will be x1 plus x2. So that is why the coordinates of this point is x1 plus x2. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Similarly, y1 and y2. So this projection will be y1. Sorry, y2. And this is already y1. So the coordinate of this point will be y1 plus y2, the y coordinate. Okay.
Yeah.
So the complex number represented by a point, and the line joining the origin on the point is, say, we can say representative of the complex number. Okay. So if you have complex number z1 and z2, the complex number z1 plus z2 is like adding vectors. Okay. So you'll get the location of z1 plus z2 using this idea. Okay, this is z1 plus z2. What about z1 minus z2?
Sir, we'll just reverse Z2,
Yeah,
and then so it will be, I think, in second
yeah,
or third quadrant.
yeah. So we know how to add them, right? After that, it's
Yeah.
adding z1 and minus z2. So we have to add these two.
Fourth quadrant. Yeah. I know how to add.
Yeah. So this will be z1 minus z2. Okay. But if you are just interested in the length, okay, so we can transport this thing parallelly. So it will come and fit in here.
Okay.
This will be
Sir, it's
z1.
like the other angle of the parallelogram.
Yeah. So z1 plus z2 is one diagonal of the parallelogram, and z1 minus z2 is the other diagonal.
Diagonal.
Length. Mod of complex number represents length.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just transporting the length. Okay. So we have this property of parallelogram where diagonal square d1 square plus d2 square equal to sides of the parallelogram a square plus b square twice of it. This property of parallelogram, this you know or not, in a parallelogram the sum of the squares of the diagonals equal to sum of the squares of sides. If you don't know, just know this now.
Okay, sir.
This parallelogram property. Okay. So from this you can prove this one. Prove or at least understand this relation. Okay. If you have two complex numbers z1 and z2, so what does the complex number z1 plus z2 mean? And the complex number z1 minus z2. And mod of z1 plus z2 is a length. And similarly, mod of z1 minus z2 is a length. So mod of z1 plus z2 square plus mod of z1 minus z2 square is twice mod of z1 square plus mod of z2 square. This comes the parallelogram property. And the understanding that z1 plus z2 and z1 minus z2 form the two diagonals, and Z1 and Z2 are the sides of the parallelogram. Okay. Yeah, this inequality you can understand, right? This part. Because in a triangle, sum of any two sides is greater than or equal to the third side. So here we have this triangle with the sides as Z1, Z2, mod Z1, mod Z2. This is mod Z1, this is mod Z2, right? And this is mod of Z1 plus Z2. Is that right? This triangle, the lengths are Z1, mod Z2, and mod of Z1 plus Z2. So in the triangle, we have this property, right? Sum of lengths of any two sides is greater than or equal to sum of the third side. Okay. Right. We'll come back to this later. And similarly, this one, if you take the other triangle, this this length is mod Z1, this length is mod Z2, and this length is mod of Z1 minus Z2. So from this triangle, we get this one. Mod Z1 and mod Z2 represent the lengths of the sides of the triangle. Okay. So from this, you get the mod Z1 plus Z2 is greater than or equal to mod of Z1 minus Z2. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. How can you prove this one? Amplitude of Z1. Z1 and Z2 are two complex numbers, right?
Yeah.
So you can take Z1 as x1 plus I by 1 and Z2 as x2 plus I by 2.
Okay.
Or you can take Z1 as R1 into e raised to the power I theta 1 and Z2 as R2 into e raised to the power I theta 2. Okay. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So that is the exponential form, right?
Yeah.
So that exponential form, try to prove this relation, because whenever you're multiplying, it's better to take the complex number in the exponential form. Okay. So take Z1 as R1 into e raised to the power I theta 1 and Z2 is now Z1 Z2 will become, what is Z1 Z2? Can you tell me? What will be Z1 Z2? I have to multiply these two, right?
Yeah.
So what is that thing? It will be R1 R2 into e raised to the power I theta 1 plus theta 2, right?
Okay.
It's like multiplying xy square into xy cube. So x and x will get multiplied, and then y raised to the power exponents will get added up. So this is R1 R2 into e raised to the power I theta 1 plus theta 2. Okay. So the amplitude of Z1 Z2 is I theta 1 plus I theta 2. Okay. So suppose if theta 1 plus theta 2 is this angle, I can also go one circle and come to the same place. So the amplitude of Z1 Z2, I can say it's theta 1 plus theta 2, plus I can make some circles and come back to that place. So I can write 2n pi or 2k pi, where k is an integer. This will be the general solution.
Okay. All right.
Right. Similarly, you can prove this thing now. Z1 by Z2. So it will become R1 by R2. Same thing. If you do Z1 by Z2, it's R1 to raised to I theta 1, right? And Z2 is R2 d raised to power I theta 2. So what is this thing equal to? What is the right side? It's R1 by R2 into e raised to power I theta 1 minus theta 2. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. R1 and R2 are numbers. So we just have to divide them. And this is e raised to power something. So exponent, when I divide, it will get subtracted. No? The power will get subtracted. Okay. So now
Yeah.
amplitude of Z1 by Z2 is just the angle part. So it is theta 1 minus theta 2. And I can go in circles. So it's plus 2k pi. And theta 1 and theta 2 amplitude of Z1 and Z2.
Okay, sir.
Okay, C you have to do. Just do the C part.
Yeah, sir, I'm doing.
You have to take Z as R into e raised to power theta, I theta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whenever you're multiplying, you have to take this exponential form.
Okay, so then it's done, I guess. Okay.
It's trivial, no?
Yeah. Okay. Done, so done.
Yeah. So Z raised to the power n is R raised to the power n into e raised to the power I n theta. Right?
Yeah. I
Theta
did see. Yeah.
theta plus theta n times. So the amplitude of Z raised to the power n is n theta and then circles 2k pi. And theta is amplitude of Z.
Okay.
Okay, this n is different
Okay.
and that's why you're using k. Right. Okay. So have you seen the complex number playlist physics class? Okay. Bye.
That's the thank you.